Talk to me. Okay, Uluru, if you've been there in the past couple of years, love to hear from you, but as from today, it's closed to climbers. As I said, I've got no great problem with that. On the line, Senator for the Northern Territory, Malarndirri McCarthy, good morning.
Good morning, Neil, and good morning to all your listeners.
Now, you're a Yanyuwa woman. What's your feeling about this?
I'm feeling enormously proud of the Anangu, and just want to congratulate them on the strength of culture and ceremony and just their generosity really over the many decades, Neil, to teach people about the importance of their culture. So, yeah, feeling a little bit emotional, really.
So why is today an important day? Why is it emotional?
Emotional in the sense that I was only a teenage girl when the rock was handed back to the Anangu in terms of Northern Territory Aboriginal land rights. So when at the time I was still at high school, I just thought, wow, you know, and you kind of grow up with that sense of Australia is looking good, you know, it's starting to recognise the First Nations people and acknowledge the importance. It was certainly a difficult time then, Neil, where criticism was said that, you know, if you hand the rock over, the sky's going to cave in and it's the end of the world. And I've seen a little bit of that similar kind of conversation in the last couple of months leading up to this, but I think Australia's a much better place in terms of wanting to understand and appreciate our First People.
Have you climbed it?
No, never.
You wouldn't?
No, it just never was important to me. I respected the Anangu. I always knew that it was special to them and a sacred place. And I guess it just reminds me of places, you know, out on Yanyuwa country, back in the Gulf of Carpentaria, where I know there are just some places that are sacred, and you just, you know, respect that.
As I said, I know you're not local, but can you explain to me why it is sacred to the locals?
Yeah, sure. Look, for the Anangu, and it's always best for it to come from an Anangu, but what I've learned from them, and I thank them for that, is that it's really about what they call the jugurba. And the jugurba, for your listeners, means songline. In my language, we call it gujiga. And the songline is the map, the story of country. And there are so many that interrelate in terms of the surrounding areas of Uluru, and they come to gather there. And whenever I go to Murrajulu, I am always, which is a community right next to the rock, where the Anangu families are, they do explain in great detail the significance of sites around the rock in terms of stories that belong to them from thousands of years.
What will happen to people who insist and do attempt to climb the rock? Will they be charged? Will they be fined?
Well, I imagine they would be, Neil. In fact, that's something I will be asking when I go out there on the weekend, because the closing ceremony is actually Sunday evening on sunset. And these are important questions. What does happen from here in terms of the safety of people, but also, you know, the fact that if people can't climb, what are the punishments that come with that? So, and I think it's important to get those messages out, and I know Parks Australia will certainly have that ready.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Senator Malarndirri McCarthy, a Yanyuwa woman, not the local people are Aninu. I think that's pronounced correctly. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with people saying it insults us for people to climb the rock. Enjoy it, embrace it, absorb it in other ways, because I found it enormously, almost moving to see it at dawn and again at dusk. Particularly dawn. I was out there while it was cold and dark, and I was broadcasting on the arrival of the Olympic torch in Australia. It landed at Uluru, and Kathy Freeman was there to collect it, actually, and that was about, 8:39 in the morning. So we're out there in the pitch black and watched the sun come up over it. It was just magnificent.